welcome to my living room. It's awesome to have you here. We're going to draw a card and kind of use that as the topic for the evening. And then we are going to go through a relaxation process, reflect upon the card throughout that. Go through a relaxation process to prepare us for a meditation process, and then kind of look at what that card means to us and kind of how we can process everything. Somebody in the discussion before too had mentioned some unpleasant emotions and things surfacing, and that's kind of what may happen as you relax more. Is as you ease up, some of the uncomfortable things may surface more, and it's part of the process. And the key concept is be gentle with yourself if that does happen, and it will subside at some point. So the card that we got, I'm actually going to switch the view back for 1 second, so hopefully we can get this to show up, is the Hanged Man in reverse. And we're going to kind of look at both meanings of the Hanged Man, but we'll start with the reverse one. Hangman in reverse is about self-sacrifice and martyrdom. It's kind of putting too much of yourself into a situation and it becoming unhealthy or destructive. And there's that saying, too much of a good thing, but there's also just having unrealistic expectations of ourselves and other unhealthy things of that nature, right? So think of kind of areas in your life where you might be putting too much in and getting too little back, or where you're putting yourself in positions where you're burning yourself out and then getting upset about those results, right? Now, the upright meaning of the Hanged Man card is slowing down. It's about getting a different perspective, and it is also about surrender and acceptance. And the cool thing about tarot and how it's structured is all of these cards are all relative to the human experience. So they're all relative to your life at some way, shape, or form in the current moment. But the trick is understanding and having enough self-awareness to link it together, right? And both of these energies are expressions of the same energy. Like self-sacrifice and martyrdom is the same energy as slowing down and observing things and accepting it. It's just a different polarity of expressing it. I hope that that makes sense. Like it's the other extreme of that. So think about that whole concept, how it relates to you. And we're going to start with the relaxation process. Now, if you are in a position where you can kind of have a mat and lie down and relax, I would highly suggest doing that. If you're sitting in a chair or something, you can probably do most of this part of it in some way, shape, or form. With any of these movements, be gentle with yourself and don't push yourself past what you're comfortable doing, because that's not what this is about. It's not about pushing or hurting yourself. It's about patience and kindness and compassion, right? So we're going to start by laying down. I forgot to do this last week. Lay down, and I'm going to do the first motion, and then you can follow along with me. And take your right leg and kind of flex those muscles and lift it up and breathe in. Hold it for 2 to 3 seconds, and then breathe out. And we'll do 3 more of those. Flex and breathe in. Hold it. Breathe out. 1 more. I'm sorry, 2 more. And it's interesting because we don't really think about how tense our muscles are, but when you start tensing them up intentionally and then kind of letting them relax, you notice it a lot more. We're going to do 3 on the left side, same motion. Tense the left leg up, lift it up, hold it, bring it down. And just do your best with this. Like nobody's watching you, nobody's grading you. It's really just about being comfortable with your own movement and getting still inside your body. So for the next movement, this one's kind of funny, so don't laugh. But you're just gonna like clench your butt cheeks and hold it for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and then relax. Do that again. Clench. 1, 2, 3, relax. And then one more. 1, 2, 3, relax. For the next one, this one's going to be focused on the stomach, and pretend like you're sucking your stomach in and pulling it as close to your back as possible, kind of, and hold that for about 2 to 3 seconds. And then breathe out. Breathe in again like that and hold it for 2 to 3 seconds. And out. And then breathe in again. And out. So the next motion, you're going to take your right arm and you're going to flex, like make a fist and clench it and lift your arm up. More so by like clenching the fist than anything. And once you see this motion a couple times, you'll really get it. Now do the same with the left side. Next thing you want to do is breathe in and crunch your shoulders up to your ears. Breathe out and bring them back down to your side. Breathe in and crunch your shoulders up to your ears. Breathe out, bring them back down to your side. One more, shoulders up to the ears. And back down to the side. And this is the last motion here. Then we're going to go on to another portion of this relaxation thing. It's a little bit less weird. So now you're going to breathe in. And then when you exhale, you're going to clench your face and lift your head off the ground. Or if you're just sitting, lift your head forward. And then breathe in and relax your face. Bring your head back down. Breathe out, clench your face, lift your head up. And in. And up. Okay. Now, this next portion of this might look a little bit more familiar to you. It is going to start with a cat and cow. So again, be gentle here, know your own limits and move wisely. And we're going to watch this first one. And if you know it, you can join in. But if not, join in on the next one. So we're going to breathe in, drop our stomach, lift our head. Breathe out, arch your back. Breathe in. And out. And in. And out. Breathe in, drop your belly, head up. Breathe out, arch your back up. Now we are going to sit in an Indian pose, or half lotus position is probably more appropriate to call it. And we're going to start by taking it would be my right, your left, I want to say. I got to keep that in mind. Start with whatever side feels comfortable, whatever feels natural, I guess is the best way to say it. And we're going to move our feet in a clockwise motion and our hand on that side and kind of clench it and unclench it. And do that a couple times. And then go back through and do it on the other side. Pardon me for 1 second. All right. And then you're going to switch to the other side. And again, kind of move around like this, just rotating your foot and clenching and unclenching as needed. Kind of getting to what feels comfortable there. And after you've kind of done that enough, we're just going to stop here for a second and breathe in. And while we're just sitting here cooling down again, think about the meaning of the Hanged Man card. So in reverse, it was about self-sacrifice and martyrdom and how we might be creating some of our own problems. And then in the upright position, it was about needing to slow down. It was about surrendering to the situation. And it was about taking on a new vantage point about how you're perceiving things. And now, as we're thinking about that, we are going to breathe in and lift our heads up. And then breathe out and bring your neck down. Breathe in, lift your head up. Exhale, bring your head down. Breathe in, lift your head up. Exhale, bring your head down. Next, you're going to move your head to my left, potentially your right, whatever feels correct to you. And you're going to breathe in and slowly move to the other side. When you get to the other side, you're going to breathe out and slowly move back the other way. Breathe in. And out. We'll do that one more time. Breathe in. And out. And then we're going to make counterclockwise head circles. Pardon me. And for this, just find a natural pace with your breathing that feels relaxing. And if something hurts, don't force it, don't push it, don't worry about it. Now, when you finish the next cycle, just start going clockwise for 3 times. Again, nice mellow breathing pattern. And for this next part, it's eye exercise. And with as much as we use technology and stuff like that, we probably don't stretch our eyes nearly enough or do any real work with them. So we're going to start by looking up. Breathe in. And when you breathe out, look down. Breathe in, look up. Breathe out, look down. Breathe in, look up. Breathe out, look down. And then bring your eyes back to center. Again, move your eyes to the left or your right, whatever feels comfortable as a starting point. And you're going to breathe in and slowly move them to the other direction. And when you get to the other side, you're going to breathe out and slowly move them to the other side. And when you first start this, the movement of your eyes may be a little bit janky. Just keep doing the exercise as I talk about it. But over time, it will get easier and more smooth. We're going to breathe in one more time. Go to the other side. Breathe out and go back. Now, there's one more portion to this. We're going to start with our eyes looking up and then go counterclockwise and just again find a nice natural rhythm with your breath here. My eyes are moving faster than my breathing. Even as somebody that does this on a daily basis, it still can be awkward at times. So don't worry about wherever you're at. You're right where you're supposed to be. Uh, Now, as you do the last rotation of that, start rubbing your palms. Keep your eyes closed for a second and wait till your palms are somewhat warm. And then put them over your eyes and just kind of picture the warmth from your palms radiating into your eyes and helping kind of calm and soothe you for a second. And then take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. There's a couple more parts to this, then we will do the Tai Chi, and then it will move on to the rest of the meditation. So you're going to want to put your right foot out in front of you. You're going to lean in as much as you can that's comfortable. Part of the other reason for doing this is in some esoteric circles, they believe that we store energy in our energy meridians. There's this emotional energy, and when you're stretching and kind of moving around, you're releasing that energy and freeing it up, right? And different tense areas can be signs of different issues that we might be having. Like I have a lot of hamstring issues, and there's specific issues that are related to that that are relevant to me and my story. But this next thing that we're going to do is probably an area where a lot of us might store more stress than we realize. So you're going to put your left leg out in front of you now that we stretched the right one. You're going to put your or your whatever is the appropriate foot for you. Just mirror me the best that you can. But hold your foot in your arm like this and just kind of rock back and forth for a second and loosen this up just a little bit more. And then you're going to lay down on your elbow and just kind of rock and roll around on your lower back and your butt cheek, honestly, because we store a lot of stress there. And if you don't, good for you. And if it's really painful, be gentle. It will get easier the more that you do this. But when I first learned about doing this, um, I didn't realize what a tight ass I was, and not in like a good way. I do that like one or two more times. And then now that we're kind of sitting up with our left leg in front of us, just stretch into the left leg now. Same kind of thing. And again, you're not trying to force anything, not trying to push, not trying to do more than what's comfortable. Just really being gentle and giving yourself some attention. And that's one of the nice things. Like I do this at 5 in the morning. Um, and I've already given myself like a full hour of self-care and like spiritual grounding before I even begin my day. Your morning habits will like make or break your whole day and your whole week and your whole month. So choose them wisely. So now we're going to take the other foot. We'll call it that, the other foot, and hold it in your arm again. Rock it back and forth. And again, you're just doing this to kind of loosen things up a little bit more. So hopefully when we do the next portion, it's not as sensitive. And now put the forearm on the ground and just kind of, again, do this little dance here to loosen everything up. All right. One more thing on the ground here. And this is just what's called butterfly pose. I'm sure most people here have seen it before, done it before. Really just bring your feet as close in as you can, as comfortable as is comfortable for you. Just kind of gently move your legs like this. Again, as much as is comfortable for you. Don't push, don't force. None of that's necessary. And we'll do it a couple more times. All right. And then we're going to stand up. And this is hip circles, and then we'll get into Tai Chi. Like this is the last kind of the warm-up stretches. And the nice thing about these is they will make everything else easier. And for this, you're literally just moving your hips in circles. Right now I'm going counterclockwise. And we'll do one more circle and then we'll go back the other way. I personally try to keep track of these when I'm doing them. But in this format, it's almost easier to just kind of find your own rhythm and go with it. I probably need to count it, but we'll work on that as we go forward. So now we're going to move on to Tai Chi. So I'm going to do one of each move and kind of show you the general feel of it. And then you can follow in, and I am going to try to count it for So we're going to start with our, it's my left foot forward. It might be your right. And we're going to put our hands in front of us like this. And we are going to breathe out and rock forward. Pull back, rock in, toes up. And then now you can join me, breathe out. And then we do what's called closing out the energy, and you're going to bring your right foot forward and then kind of do that hand circle like that and push it down. And that's kind of grounding the energy in, because this is energy work. And the more that you do this, the more that you're going to kind of notice how the energy shows up in your life. And this is kind of the other part of that too, right? The stretching portion of this is freeing up some of our energy. Tai Chi is kind of cleansing the energy. And I lost count, man. That's why I'm no master at any of this. I just kind of do it, right? Now we're going to face the mat like this. And you're going to put your right hand down. And again, follow me. Just watch this first one, then join the next one. And we're going to go like this. Slowly move to the other side. And you can even kind of feel the resistance with this the more that you do it. And just find a nice pace with your breath. And when you can join me now, keep your right hand down or left hand on top or whatever feels natural to you. And then when we get to the other side, we're kind of rolling our arms and switching. And we'll do one more pass. And we're going to close out the energy. This next one is working with a ball of energy. And again, the more that you do this, the more that you will physically feel it. We're going to put our left foot forward, right foot back. And you're going to put your hands like this and just kind of visualize a ball of energy here, right? And we're going to rock forward, breathe out. Rock back, breathe in, toes up. We'll do one more. And then close it out. Do that again on the other side now. And again, if any of this feels awkward, just stick with it and you'll get it, right? Awkwardness is kind of the tuition into any of this stuff. Let's close this out. There's two more poses that work with the energy in this way. So for this next one, we're going to start with the ball of energy up here, and we're going to exhale and bring it down, lift our toes up, then inhale. It's always weird starting that one. Breathe in. Do this one more time. Now bring your right foot forward, close it out. I mean, the other thing that's cool for you guys, right, is you don't have the camera on you, so if you mess up, nobody's watching. Let's breathe out, breathe down, breathe in. We'll do one more. And then close it out. And then this is the last one of the energy ball movements in this position. So you're going to lift up and breathe in this time. And then breathe out. And in. And out. And in. And out. We'll do one more. And in. And out. And then close out the energy. And then in. And out. In. And out. In. And out. And one more. In. And out. Close out the energy. So I lied to you. This is the last energy ball one. You're going to start with your right hand down, left hand on top. And it's similar to the other sideways one that we did previously, where you just kind of slowly find your movement. When you get to the other side, you roll your hands over. And usually in this part of everything is when you start to really feel the inner stillness. And there's a little bit of heat from the movement. We're going to close it out. Only a few more exercises here, and then we're down into the meditation as well. So now you're going to put your left foot in front of you, or your respective foot. Palms flat, like there's a wall in front of you, and you're going to push forward, breathe out. You're going to imagine pulling back energy and breathing in. And so much of this work is just showing you the natural flow of life and the events that we encounter, where there's this great force being exerted upon us, and then this pulling in of energy and strength and wisdom if we're receptive to it. But where things get out of balance, especially with something like the reversed hangman card, we push very hard on situations and things to make it our way. And then the pullback doesn't come normally until we have awareness to change it, because we started it. So until we acknowledge it, we're powerless over it. All right. Left foot forward, right foot back, left hand forward, right hand back, or whatever it feels comfortable to you. And you're going to breathe in, lift your toes up, pull your hand back. Close it out. This is the other thing. Like, I like talking, but doing this and talking and breathing at the same time gets challenging by the end. So breathe in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Close it out. This is the last exercise before we get down into the meditation. We're going to put our right hand down and our left hand in front of our face, and just slowly move to the other side, calming your breath. Just letting it be natural. Moving slowly here, we're not in a race. None of this is about keeping pace with me. None of this is a competition. You're only trying to improve upon your own best, or to give your best in the current moment. And it can be different every day. It can be different every moment within the day. We're going to do one more pass after this one. And then we're just going to kind of bring our hands down into prayer, or however you need to phrase it if that's not your structure, and fold your hands in, put them out, and kind of give your gift of your practice back to the universe. And then for this next part, you can, I lost my headphone. For this next part, you can either sit down or lie down, whatever is most comfortable to you. And for a second, just catch your breath. Shut your eyes, catch your breath. Breathe through your nose, though. And as you do that, feel the air coming in. Feel how cool it is. And then breathe out through your nostrils and feel how warm it is. And just take in those sensations for a bit. We'll just kind of sit here quietly and do that. And I'm going to plant an idea in your head for the upcoming weeks. And this is called a sankalpa. And we're going to, if you want to, I should say, at some point I'll explain what a sankalpa is. And if you had one, this is when you would kind of state it. And it is a intention that you're trying to plant in your consciousness to bring to fruition. It's kind of like a long-term goal, but it's a little bit more complex than that. And if you're interested in that, maybe we can have a special class on that at some point, explain it, and we can do a Q&A. But now is where you would use that if you know what one is. I know my mom had one at one point. So mom, you can use yours. We're going to start with a body scan. So get comfortable. And when we do the body scan, I'm going to tell you a part of your body and just kind of bring awareness to it. You don't have to focus or concentrate on it. So bring awareness to it. And this is going to help you relax further, right? So we'll start with the right side of the body and then go over to the left. Right hand thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, little finger, palm, wrist, forearm, bicep, armpit, side, hip, thigh, kneecap, calf, ankle, heel, sole of the foot, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, little toe, the whole right side of the body, the whole right side of the body, left hand thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, little finger, palm, wrist, forearm, bicep, armpit, side, hip, thigh, kneecap, calf, ankle, heel, sole of the foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, little toe, the whole left side of the body, the whole left side of the body, right butt cheek, left butt cheek, lower back, middle back, upper back, right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, neck, back of the head, top of the head, forehead, right eye, left eye, nose, right cheek, left cheek, upper lip, roof of the mouth, tongue, lower lip, teeth, jaw, chin, neck, right collarbone, left collarbone, heart, upper abdomen, lower abdomen, the whole body, the whole body. Now we're just going to take a couple more deep breaths. And I want you to visualize yourself in the room you are. Visualize yourself in the room you're in as if you were looking through the eyes of somebody else, like if you're watching yourself sitting there. Maybe disorienting at first, but picture yourself seeing yourself. Get comfortable with that image. Kind of feel the room around you too, and imagine what it would look like, what the room looks like with your eyes shut, but also with seeing yourself. We're going to take a deep breath in. And when we're ready, we're going to exhale and imagine ourselves floating out of the room that we're in and floating above the rooftop of the building that we are in. And we're going to take another deep breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to picture ourselves rising above the city that we're in. And if you're telling yourself this is only your imagination, that's fine. Sit here for a second, take in the scenery, breathe in again. And breathe out. Now picture yourself floating up above the county that you're in. And we're going to do a big jump on this next one. So you're going to breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. And you're going to picture yourself floating outside and looking down on the world, seeing the whole world underneath you, and you're floating in space. We're going to do one more big deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth. And we're going to picture ourselves floating outside of the Milky Way galaxy and seeing the Milky Way galaxy. Now I want you to imagine a door in front of you, and your door can look like anything you would like your door to look like. And I want you to see the door and slowly walk towards this door. What energy do you feel is on the other side of this door for you? Think of that for a moment. What is on the other side of this door for you? But before you open the door, I want you to think about, after you thought about what your initial thought was, what would you like to be on the other side of the door? If you could open the door and be in any environment that you could be in, any special place, any happy memory, where would you open the door to? And I want you to go to that particular place or memory or time or dream and be in that environment. Picture yourself there. And now we're going to look at the energy of the hanged man in this special place to you. And it may feel uncomfortable, but it's okay. Your feelings can't hurt you as long as you're mindful of what they are. So we're going to start by looking at the energy of the hanged man in the reverse and in terms of somebody that we care about or somebody that we've just crossed paths with. Could be a complete and total stranger. And I want you to think of somebody that you know who's not you, who embodies self-sacrifice to a point of making themselves miserable. They take on much more than they should. And then when they get burnt out, they feel that they're a victim, but it's their own choice. And think of that person, and this is going to be some energy work. While you might not have ever been trained in energy healing, all of us have innate abilities, and you're going to picture sending them healing energy. And if you can't think of anybody who fits that model of self-sacrifice to their own destruction, just send it out to that archetype, that general type of person, and it'll get to where it's supposed to go, and you can have faith and confidence that that is true. And just picture radiating out that energy to somebody who needs it, who needs compassion for that behavior for themselves, and who needs awareness to change it. And now that you've sent that energy, I want you to feel how that felt to send it, because there's an energetic charge when we give unconditionally. especially to people who sometimes might have rough edges that make them hard to let in. This is an incredibly potent practice when you practice it to people that you might have issues with. So just sit with that feeling for a moment longer. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at the upright meaning of the hangman in terms of somebody else that you know. And again, this can be somebody that you know personally, somebody that you've crossed paths with, or just somebody who you've seen, whether on TV or whatever. And you're going to look at who embodies the trait of being able to slow down, being able to look at situations differently from maybe some uncomfortable angles and entertain ideas from a different standpoint that might be unconventional and tricky, and who's also able to surrender that to the fact that many things are out of their control, and that when they don't so much go with the flow but surrender to what is, that they find more peace, especially when they're able to look at it differently than their initial perspective. Um, think of somebody who embodies those characteristics who is not yourself, and just radiate whatever emotion you feel towards them, whatever you think is right. Send them the message or energy that you think that they deserve, um, and just radiate that out to them for a second. Think of what sensations you're feeling as you send this out, what emotions come up, what thoughts come up, and just sit with that momentarily. Now, the universe likes to make sure that what we get, what we put out, we get back. And now it's time to kind of look at this same energy in regards to ourselves. And oftentimes, when we're able to radiate the emotions and feelings that we would like to receive to others that might be challenging to us, we have an easier time. And when we share unconditional well wishing to people despite differences, it's easier for us to be unconditionally accepting of ourselves. So, as we look at the energy of the hangman in reverse to ourselves, this is looking for situations where we've overcommitted, where we've done more than was expected of us, where we've put ourselves in compromising positions that have exhausted us, and actually created barriers or challenges for us as a result of us having sincere intentions, but not necessarily having healthy boundaries for ourselves. Um, because our boundaries aren't only to keep other people from hurting us or to keep other people from overstepping their role. Our boundaries are often for us, I don't want to say protecting us from ourselves, um, but from preventing us from making choices that we already know the outcomes to, I think is the more appropriate term. We don't need to keep putting our hand on the stove, is the energy of the healing energy here. But you can find your own appropriate message and how that fits to you and what you need to hear. That's just my interpretation. And think of how you need to receive that message and radiate that same healing energy that you sent to other people, to yourself now. And then also feel the receipt of somebody else radiating that energy out to you, because you, whether you know it or not, you are either consciously or unconsciously in somebody's well wishes at every point. And if you're curious of how I can say that so confidently, we can chat afterwards, right? and just feel that gift of receiving something. And one thing I would like to say, while the universe does even things out, um, your receipt of this is unconditional too. It was always available to you. The thing is, it's just having an understanding that you're worthy of receiving that healing energy, and that you don't have to carry all of the burdens that you might think that you have to. So just sit with that for a second and realize that you don't need to do anything to receive goodness and kindness and warmth and compassion. That's inherent in who you are. And if nobody else can give that to you, make sure that you're giving it to yourself, because it's more important than ever. Sit with that for one more second of nurturing yourself. And this is kind of the fun part here. Thinking of the upright meaning of this card, of slowing down, of taking a new perspective on a situation that might be uncomfortable, because that's one thing. The energy of the Hangman card is, it's uncomfortable. It's literally somebody hanging from a tree, upside down, and on the card there's even coins falling out of their pocket, where it's money and material possessions aren't so much the object of what they're looking at. It's trying to find the perspective that they need to move forward, because oftentimes the answers that we need lie in uncomfortable places, and at looking at uncomfortable situations and obstacles differently, and then also understanding that part of the way forward is surrendering to the fact that there's always going to be challenges and things that seem insurmountable. But when you accept that fact, your path can become easier. And think of how this applies to you specifically, what you need to hear from this specifically, what situation it applies to you specifically. What can you look at differently? What can you surrender to? Um, what can you slow down and be more patient with? And as you think of that, think of how you can embody that and how embodying that would feel to you. How does it feel to slow down with that situation, to look at it differently, and to accept it rather than to fight it? Um, I'll say one more thing and then we can move on with this portion. When we begin to accept situations, we free up so much energy that we would spend fighting them. Fighting reality is very exhausting. It doesn't lead us anywhere and it makes us miserable. But when you can accept it, all that energy you would have wasted could be put towards a solution. And when you begin to function in that mindset, life can dramatically shift. So think of that for one more second. And now we're going to think of the week coming up as we kind of begin to wind down with everything and prepare for the discussion. Think of your week ahead and what energy or intention or goal you would like to set for your week ahead. What's the one word or two words or however many words you need to hear that you want to focus on this week that you think you can embody? And you can relate it to the card, or you can relate it to an idea that kind of branched off from the card, or something entirely different. There's not really any rules. It's your thing. I'm just here to help guide you, right? So think of that, and I want you to think of what it would feel like achieving that, and or what it would feel like to maintain that energy, or kind of like the end result of that process. What does that process feel like, and what does achieving it feel like? Physically feel it, and then physically see yourself in a state of completion of it, and repeat that as many times as you need to. Sit there for one more second. And the next thing that I would like you to do is think of one kind of spiritual gift or spiritual experience or spiritual challenge, not challenge so much, wrong word, spiritual opportunity you would like to encounter, whether that be a lucid dream, whether that be astral projection. What would you like to maybe see come up? And if it doesn't come up within this week, something that you would be committed to maintaining, putting that intention out there until it happens. What's something that would benefit you to experience? Think of that for a bit longer, and then think of what it would feel like to embody this kind of gift. What would it feel like to have that show up? How could it benefit you? All of those feelings, and what would it look like if you were living with that gift as a key component of your life? There's two more things before the discussion. This next one is taking a moment and offering gratitude to whatever force you believe is out there, God, the universe, spirit, whatever you personally call it. This is all about your personal belief structure. Radiate the appreciation for waking up, for being present, for having the opportunity to be here. If you're sitting in a room with the internet and a piece of technology and tuning in here, we're in the upper 20% of income in the world, I would say, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there. So you're already doing a lot better than you might understand. So have a lot of gratitude for that and presence and awareness. And then have a lot of gratitude and respect and presence and awareness for yourself, for showing up for yourself and for committing to yourself to be here and to do this to the best of your ability, to try something different, to give yourself this time, to carve out an hour and a half, 2 hours, just for your personal betterment. That's an amazing way to start off your new year, and you deserve a tremendous amount of respect and appreciation for doing that for yourself, and honor that. And don't sell yourself short if you are. And we're going to close this meditation with 5 minutes of silent meditation, and just kind of go where you need to go, think what you need to think, feel what you need to feel, and then we will have a discussion. I tried to hit the poll and it didn't work. Oh man. All right. So before we kind of go into the discussion portion, I just want to tell anybody who is watching this video after it's been recorded, there is a discussion portion. I don't have any of the participants' videos on, just for privacy and anonymity, obviously. But if you ever want to attend, there is a discussion portion afterwards. And with that said, I'm going to stop